healthcare project, and our case study will be the district health center development in Rwanda. I'll be giving you an overview of what we'll be discussing in this project. There'll be an introduction, there'll be an overview, there'll be procurement planning process, procurement methods, an annual procurement plan, a risk matrix, and a monitoring and evaluation, and then there'll be a conclusion and a recommendation. So when we talk about project procurement planning, what are we talking about? We are talking about a process whereby we identify what to procure, how to procure, when to procure, and what source. And when we do all of these, there are some objectives that we attain when we procure what we want to procure, how and when. We'll be able to attain a timely availability of goods and services and works. And procurement planning ensures transparency, competition, and alignment with project goals. So an overview of what we'll be discussing. Our organization will be in partnership with the Rwanda Ministry of Health, and our project objectives, our project goals will be to construct and to equip a modern health center in the Royal District. So as we all know, project has a duration or has a lifespan or has a scope. So we'll be having 48 months for us to be able to accomplish this project, and we'll be having our fundings from World Bank support and from government co-fundings. So this project addresses access to health infrastructure in undeserved areas. So going through all this, we'll see that there are some processes in which we have to take in place for us to be able to procure. For us to be able to procure. So I will start by saying there's a need for assessment. Need assessment, it's all about us identifying our needs, what the stakeholders really need. So when we identify that, we go to market research. And when we talk about the market research is all about identifying the needs of the respective people in the royal district. And we'll talk about specification and development. Specification and development is all about creating a detailed document that outline the requirements for the materials, the workmanship, and the constant the methods that we'll be using. I will talk about procurement methods selection. So procurement method selection, we have some like open bidding, restricted bidding, direct procurement, request for quotations. So all of that, my colleague is going to give more highlights on it. So we talk about timeline and schedule, budget allocation, and risk mitigation planning. So risk mitigation is all about us knowing, are we going to tolerate it? Are we going to transfer it, or are we going to treat it? So my colleague is going to explain more details on that. So when we go through all this, we see that these steps, it just ensure us to have transparency, compliance, and accountability. So I give the floor to my colleague.
Thanks, Emma, for the brief introduction as well as the understanding overview. And my name's Bilga, and we are going to proceed about the procurement method. Basically, the procurement methods are basically specified as five, whereby there's open bidding, whereby domestic and international suppliers have been invited to participate without any limitation or what, just to participate in the bidding process. The second one is the restricted bidding, whereby the selected suppliers have been invited for the bidding process, not all of them or an open one as indicated above, but the selected group of suppliers have been selected for the bidding, in participation of the bidding process. The second one is the direct procurement, whereby the procuring entity usually target or select one supplier to perform and deliver the project need and ensure the project implementation. Proceeding to the request for quotation, whereby the procuring entity usually request suppliers to provide prices as well as quotes of services and goods needed for the project implementation. The third and the fifth and the last is the public-private partnership, whereby the government partners with the private entities to ensure that the project is being implemented and delivered. For this project, we proposed two methods whereby once hiring human resource, which will be used through construction, which is civic work, we favored about the open domestic bidding for locals to be able to participate in the bidding processes. And once collecting for furnitures and office suppliers, something like that, we preferred using request for quotation for local suppliers and others to provide their fee and prices of these materials which are actually be needed in the project for them for procuring units to analyze them. Basically, any project will be having a procurement plan whereby usually sits like this, whereby it indicates the item quantity which will be needed, estimate cost that will be incurred, procurement method that will be implemented, the timeline to be taken on, as well as the responsible unit. For instance, if it is civic works, these uh, different works that will be implemented throughout the project will be needed, like for instance, one lot, which will be taking estimated cost of 250 million Rwandan francs. As indicated above, the procurement method that will be used is an open bidding, whereby everyone will be open for participating in the bidding. The timeline for this civic work will be taken from quarter 1 to quarter 3 of the duration of the project. The responsible unit will be the procuring unit, whereby they are the one responsible to evaluate the procurement process as well as awarding the contract to the potential bidder. Uh, Proceeding to the risk matrix, any project planning should have assessing the risk and being able to renting at every stages as well as levels. Like for instance, late of delivering of the equipment, this is the risk that can be appeared throughout implementing this project. And the likelihood for this risk to appear is medium because uh, once every entity involved, stakeholders involved are complied, the risk for it to happen will be medium. The impact on the project successful implementation can be high because for instance, if the rate delivery of equipment is it appeared, the impact of successful implementation of the project will be high. So they no meet of the deadline as well as the project duration. How to mitigate this risk is usually to penalize penalty clauses throughout the contract as well as supplier vetting. How to monitor them? It can be usually implementing weekly reviews as well as continuing follow-ups and others. Using this matrix, basically it ensures we are prepared for uncertainty and reducing the risk of failure to mitigate any failure that can come up with the project to be unsuccessful. Uh, Let me hand off to my colleague Didier to tack on monitoring and evaluation throughout the project is concerned. Over to you, Didier.
Thank you. My name is Didier. I'm proceduring and monitoring and evaluation. First one is weekly site meeting. Every week we hold the meeting at the project site to discuss progress, issue, and the next step. It helps us everyone to informed and aligned. The second one is monthly procurement audits. Once a month, we check the purchasing process to make sure everything is done correctly. It helps us to catch mistake early and ensure we are using resource wisely. Third one is independent supervision consultant. We hiring outside expert to oversee the project. This person provides unbiased view of how things are going, help us to improve our work. And fourth one is submission of quarter report and to stakeholders. Every 3 months, we prepare and share detailed reports with everyone involved in the project. It keeps them updated on the progress and challenges. The last one is the conclusion and the recommendation. First one is using planning tools. We start using tools like procurement plans and annual plans and organize the purchasing better. The second, the train procurement staff is provide training procurement officer so they can improve their skills. The third one is involved in the stakeholders area. The fourth one is management skills. Let me invite my colleague. If there is something can add, they can add and we can conclude in our presentation.
Okay, thank you, Didier. As we all know, we know health is wealth, so as project procurement planning, it's very crucial for a successful implementation or a successful execution of a project. So as we all know, project procurement planning is very crucial, and it ensures that the necessary goods and services are being obtained effectively and efficiently for us to be able to align or for us to be able to achieve our goal. So thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.